Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope your weekend's going well. It is a hot Saturday here in South Alabama. I think we're supposed to hit a high of 94 today. And now at the very end of the day, we've been kind of overcast all day, which kept it down a little bit. Now the sun's out blazing, but it's all good. I've been out doing some tie-dye, just running around, having a good old Saturday, and thought I would do a video. Today I want to talk about letting go, what it really means. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you go down there now and hit that subscribe button. Then when you do that, go click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. This is kind of in a similar train of thought as the one I did from Pensacola a couple of days ago, but it's actually a little bit more from a mindfulness perspective, and I have a reading to go with it today, and some insight from one of the people that I really enjoy reading in mindfulness, and that's Jon Kabat-Zinn. The book I have of his is Wherever You Go, There You Are. I've always, I've heard that my whole life, and I never, I don't know if he coined that. He probably didn't, because I've heard it for a lot longer time than that. They just always used to say that, It's kind of an analogy. You can't outrun your problems either, because wherever you go, there you are. But anyhow, letting go, what it really means, and why I said what it really means is because people, like I was talking about some of the terms the other day, they take some of the words and they almost misinterpret them, or just don't interpret them in the same way that people that are talking about them intend them to be. So let's read this. Letting go. The phrase letting go has to be high in the running for New Age cliche of the century. It is overused, abused daily. Yet it is such a powerful inward maneuver that it merits looking into, cliche or no. There is something vitally important to be learned from the practice of letting go. Letting go means just what it says. It's an invitation to cease clinging to anything. I want you to hold on to that one right there. It's an invitation to cease clinging to anything. Whether it be an idea, a thing, an event, a particular time or view or desire. Clinging to a view or something else. Do you see that raw food thing in there? Some of these people that are just clinging all the time, holding on. It is a conscious decision to release with full acceptance into the stream of present moments as they are unfolding. To let go means to give up coercing, resisting, or struggling in exchange for something more powerful and wholesome, which comes out of allowing things to be as they are without getting caught up in your attraction to or rejection of them, in the intrinsic stickiness of wanting, of liking, and disliking. That one word up there, resisting. Here's another cliche, but it's a good one too. And you know what? You can't just dismiss cliches all the time, because some of them are good. Resisting. What we resist persists. So the more we resist something, the more it seems to just trouble us, So, but it's not only the stickiness of our desires concerning outer events which catches us, nor is it only a holding on with our hands. We hold on with our minds. We catch ourselves, get stuck ourselves by holding, often desperately, to narrow views, to self-serving hopes and wishes. Letting go really refers to choosing to become transparent to the strong pull of our own likes and dislikes, and of the unawareness that draws us to cling to them. To be transparent requires that we allow fears and insecurities to play themselves out in the field of full awareness. Letting go is only possible if we can bring awareness and acceptance to the nitty-gritty of just how stuck we can get. If we allow ourselves to recognize the lenses we slip so unconsciously between observer and observe that then filter and color, bend and shape our view. We can open in those sticky moments, especially if we are able to capture them in awareness and recognize it when we get caught up in either pursuing and clinging or condemning and rejecting in seeking our own gain. Stillness, insight, and wisdom arise only when we can settle into being complete in this moment without having to seek or hold on to or reject anything. This is a testable proposition. Try it out just for fun. See for yourself whether letting go when a part of you really wants to hold on doesn't bring a deeper satisfaction than clinging. This is all stuff like the mindfulness meditation I've been doing for the last 2.5 years is very very in line with this. In fact, I've done some guided meditations on I use the Calm app from time to time, and I use some guided meditations, and it's in there. That is what mindfulness is. You know, sometimes you put a word to it and people tend to want to reject it a little bit because it makes a practice out of it or some other idea. But it's very simple things. My meditation, most of my meditation, and even just my day-to-day mindfulness when I need to stop and check in, is just like it says, simply coming back to the moment, all about the breath. And when I talk about the breath so much, the breath is just the anchor. It's just something to get you into the mindfulness, staying in the moment. Because when you're totally focused on your breath, and when I'm saying focused, you're just aware of it. You're not guiding your breath or anything. As you breathe in, you're aware. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. If you will follow that breath, just breathing in and awareness of your breathing in, and follow the whole in breath, and then you reverse that and you follow the whole out breath. And if you're following that, you are in the moment. And the things we cling to, but we're going to cling to things. And don't ever think, whether you're meditating, whether you're just practicing it out in your day-to-day life. You know, I learned. I used to try to meditate, and I used to try to practice more mindfulness, and I tried too hard. Now it is what it is. And that's something too, like when you're working on these things, you know, when I'm doing my mindfulness practice or my meditation and I'm focusing on the breath, no, I could probably meditate for 100 more years and my mind would never just be crystal, you know, for 20 minutes or however long I'm meditating, just no thoughts coming up. And that's not the purpose of meditation, to try to cease thoughts or to try to do anything with thoughts. All it's about is awareness. I look at it sometimes, it's almost like there's a stream going by, and this isn't my analogy. I don't remember where I heard it, but I've heard it somewhere. If you want to think of like your meditation as a stream, or like ideas, like you're meditating, you know, the steadiness of the inward and the outward flow of the breath. But ideas are going to pop up. You can do any number of things just to kind of like deal with those ideas. Don't try to push that idea down. Don't be frustrated because something popped up. Observe, acknowledge it. I'm having a thought. And then you just let it pass on. It's almost like a river that's going by and something's floating down the river. You see it coming. You don't get too caught up in it. And it goes right on. And it passes right on by. And that's all mindfulness is. That's all this is. And there's a whole practice, whether you want to call it spiritual, practical, secular, every day, just in that. And it's something of comfort once you start even playing with it even just a little bit. Even if you're not like a hardcore practitioner, you don't have to like, make a decision to meditate every day. Maybe you're never going to meditate, but you can check in for this mindfulness every day, and you can get out of that chaos that is your mind. And you have access to a very powerful thing that's just so simple. Just that one thing, just one in-breath, one out-breath where you're fully aware. That's a whole practice in and of itself. Don't think about, oh, I can't sit for 20 minutes. Oh, I can't sit for 10 minutes. Oh, I can't sit for 5 minutes. Can you observe one breath? That's where your whole practice can begin. Or it doesn't even have to be a practice. It's just something that's part of everyday life. Like I say, you know, when I was a little bit more restless and I I won't say I wasn't able to meditate. In my mind, I wasn't. I just couldn't be still because of this little issue, you know, that kept me moving all the time. But I was still checking in all day. And I would do that. And probably sometimes I probably did it in front of people and they thought, oh, God, what's this guy doing? Where I would just stop. A lot of times I'd do it in my part-time, or a lot of times I'd just do it during the day for whatever. But I just stop and make that conscious in-breath, that conscious out-breath. And then I started, and I did a video on this a while back, and I started putting little sticky notes, mindfulness reminders all around my house. So that makes me check in even more. Once again, don't get caught up and don't get intimidated and don't think of it as a practice or something else to add to your list that you have to do every day. Just let it happen in your life. But letting go, clinging on, man, I tell you, I've seen it in my life. I used to do all this stuff. It's a lot of before and after stuff with me. I used to hold on to things. even like arguments and things, like I could be arguing or having an issue with somebody and just not letting it go, just keeping it going. Well, but you did this, you did that. So a lot of life is really not that complicated. We really do make our lives more complicated than they need to be. So anyhow, just kind of a little rambling talk today. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Hope you're having a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.